from the Oak Wall Studios in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hello, this is Jesse Oakley III, and welcome to the Oak Zone, where we provide positive words of wisdom for you, the happy people. Now, from Monday through Friday, I will show a plethora of positive words of wisdom through my show, The Oak Zone. But today is Sunday morning, and it is time for the Sunday Morning Chat Series, where I get a chance to interview a plethora of positive people that are making a big difference in their community, whether they're authors, speakers, yoga instructors, animal rescue volunteers, Bitcoin experts, organ donors, you name it, and you'll hear from them right here on the Sunday Morning Chat Series, where they share their plethora of positive wisdom for you, the happy people. And today, it is going to be a darn good show. And before I get into this, it takes a lot of work, takes a lot of efforts to actually write a book. I'm an author myself of a book called Greetings, Happy People, the positive words and wisdom through the eyes of Mr. I. Now, when it comes to writing these books, it takes a lot of reviews and write-overs, and it's a lot of effort, and it's harder than what it seems. But overall, when you're done with the end product, you feel proud of what you did, and when people read it and it gets amazing, then it even takes it to a whole new level. For today's episode, I have with me a wonderful dear person as well as an author with a book called Reset Your Inner Clock. So please help me welcome Miss Roselyn Poon. Roselyn, how's it going?
Hi, Jesse. Terrific, mate. Even though it is pretty early in the morning, but it's good.
All right.
So how are you?
I'm doing very well, very well. I cannot be any better now that I'm getting the chance to interview you.
Oh, okay. Can I just explain to everybody that I'm not English? I just thought I'd mention that. Most people think I'm English. I'm actually Australian. Yes, so we'll get that right first.
All right. And now, without any further delay, let's chat.
Yeah.
Let's
do it. Go for it.
Let's do it. Now, describe your book, Reset Your Inner Clock.
Reset Your Inner Clock is all about how people age a lot faster than they have to, and they age in accordance with their environment and their friends, and it affects their state of mind. Whereas in fact, you can actually recalibrate your state of mind, right, and live a lot longer, younger. So everyone I talk to is not so worried about dying, because at the moment we all have to die sooner or later, right? But most people are worried about getting old, right? And this incredible, and a lot of us actually spend nearly 1/3 of our time in old age, or going into old age, being old age, and then at the end of old age. So my book is all about how to help you to recalibrate your age and reset your mind and make the old age gap, which is this big, down to maybe this big.
Ooh,
so that's what I do.
fantastic. Now, what inspired you to create this book? What was the backstory to creating this read?
Oh my goodness. Okay, there is a real reason why I got into this whole thing. And it was many years ago in Australia. I used to have a computer company, a software development company. And I just got back from Australia from an overseas trip, and it was my birthday, right? Which, believe it or not, is April Fool's Day. And I was tired and weary, and went to the office and thought, I don't really feel like working. I'll go and buy myself a birthday present. So anyway, the women listening to this will think this woman is crazy, me. So I go into the city, and just then we'd have just received these incredible fat scales from the United States, digital scales that you can stand on, and it would tell you what your percentage of body weight is actually fat. Now, what woman in her right mind would actually want to buy one of those, right? Really? Right? Anyway, but I did. So I bought one because I'm a techie person. I bought one, went back to the office, and this is where it does get a bit funny. It's a Saturday, and all the developers that work for me, of course, not in on the office, right? So it's dark, and I sit down, I unpack it all like I do, put the scales on the floor, get the little book out, right? And it says, stand on scales naked. And I thought, right, okay. So I run over to the front door and lock all the doors, turn off all the lights. This is true. All right. And I go back to the scales. I go, right, okay. So I get undressed and I stand on the scales and I can barely see through the daylight. And it says, right, now, when you're on the scales, look down and it will tell you what your percentage of body weight, right, is fat. So here I am naked. This is very bad, right? Very tired, little old lily white lady, right? And I'm thinking, Anyway, I didn't have my glasses on. So I had to bend down, right? Kneel down to look at the dial. And all of a sudden it went fluorescent green, right? Like radiation. I'm thinking, what? And I look at the numbers and I'm looking at the little book and I'm going, oh, I'm clinically dead, right? In other words, my body fat was not in a good range. So I'm crouched down on these scales in the middle of my office with all the lights off, except this glowing green. And I was really, really depressed because all of a sudden I thought, well, this is terrible, right? I'm really unfit. I'm tired. I'm worn out. Oh, I'm in my early 40s, which means my brain went, she's in her early 40s, which means that's nearly 50. And 50, of course, is nearly retirement. So I'm nearly suicidal by this time. It all happens in split seconds, right? So, and I thought, well, hang on, wait a minute. All of a sudden, I had what you call in America an epiphany. And I didn't know that's what I had until I came to America and someone said that's what it was, right? Anyway, so I stand up and I think to myself, right, now if I look around and I use the eyes and the mind of someone in her early 30s, right, what would my life look like? So I thought, okay, I'm still naked, by the way. So I'm still standing there and I look around at my office and I see all the computer things, that sort of stuff. And I think, well, that's not too bad. And I design software for life insurance companies and stockbrokers. That's not bad. And I've got a whole bunch of really powerful friends, right? And I've got a black wide body 911 Porsche in the driveway, which was mine. So I'm thinking, wow, for someone who's 32, this is sensational, right? And the point that happened, it went click in my mind. And then I realized there and then that nothing had actually changed. Right? So the physical world had remained the same. What had changed was how I saw it, right? And I realized there and then it was my mindset. And I thought, well, hang on, it's my life. Who says that I have to be 42, right? Who says, no, I don't care. I can decide to be 32. And I did there and then, but then that's very simple. But then I spent the next 10, 15 years studying everything I could find to do with your mind and your brain, right? And how to reconfigure it and how the state of mind has such a massive effect on you. And so that was the reason, I suppose, I got into the whole idea. And the reason I wrote the book had nothing to do with me, just that Bunker, my other half, he'd been living with me for a little while and he said, you should write a book and explain to people they can do this. And I said, no one wants to listen to me. I'm fine. And after about 2 years of him in my ear all the time, I did. So there you go. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Just wow. That is phenomenal. That is amazing. Ooh, I am mind blown by this right now. I'm still trying to pick up pieces of my mind with the story you just told me. Oh, man.
Actually, it's true.
Woo. All right. Now, what were some of your challenges in creating this book?
Oh, my word. I think the biggest challenge for me is that because it really clicked in my mind so quickly, and it was very logical. I'm a very left brain person. So when click, 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 that's the answer, right? I thought, well, people don't really want to listen to me because, I don't have a degree in psychology and I don't have a talk back show on television and all these other sorts of things, right? And so I had an issue in overcoming that. And fortunately for me, Bunker is extremely supportive. He kept saying, don't be silly, you're overestimating everybody and you're underestimating what you do. But I think as a human, a lot of us do that. So we doubt that the little bit of information we have is going to be valuable to anyone, right? So I think that was my biggest issue that I had to overcome. And it actually, I think the best thing that ever happened to me when I had published the book, just before that, I gave it to some people to read, like proofread. And I picked different, male and female, different age brackets and things like this, and gave them a copy. And I gave them, one lady, I was just having a bit of a difficult time, and no one would know, right? And she'd just been diagnosed with skin cancer. And the day I gave her the book, right, she came to get it. And I went, oh, okay. So I gave her the book and off she went. Anyway, about 2 weeks later, she contacted me and said she wanted to bring the book back, the proof. I said, sure. And when she came back, she thanked me because apparently I had helped her to re-see or recondition her mind and her state of mind. Whereas before she was reading the book, she said she felt very down and very depressed and everything was going wrong. And then she thought, oh, well, I said to Roz I would proofread the book, so I may as well do it, right? So she started it, and she said by about page, I think, 35, she realized that, it's her state of mind. She could actually change everything, and she did, right? So if nothing else, I was really happy about that.
Again, you just blew my mind one more time again. I tell you what, once this interview ends, I don't think I'm going to have much of my mind left. My goodness.
I know, isn't it? It's outrageous. Anyway.
Now, you probably stole some person's answer, but what were some of the best moments, the best opportunities after doing this book?
After doing the book, right? I think that for me, being able to just help people, just because the book really is based on the power of the state of your mind, right? And in everyday life, when you meet people, it's, to me, I try really, really hard to make sure that if someone meets me, that when they leave feeling better about themselves, right? And so the book helps because the book opens up a whole range of people that you might not otherwise get to meet, right? And of course, they want to talk to you, and I'm thinking, okay, well, that's fine. But I'm thinking, when they come to talk to me, I don't really want to talk about myself because I actually know myself, right? I want to know a little bit about them, right? So if I can find out a little bit about them, then I can work on that and help them to see themselves better. And then they go away smiling. And so that's, I think, probably for me, the best thing that's happened with the book. Mm-hmm.
All right. Fantastic. Now, if you see somebody that is inspired and amazed with what you're doing, especially writing this book, and they want to be in your shoes, what advice would you give that person?
Well, normally my shoes have got a 4 or 5 inch heel, so I'd say practice at home first. But I think the biggest advice I suppose I could give anyone is that what I've learned is that every person has something of value. And you may not see it as value because you live it and you breathe it and it's part of you. And it's like, my other half, Bunker, is an amazing artist. And sometimes, I think, wow, how does he do that? And he's not happy with it, right? Because he judges it in his own mind against his own expectations. And I think we all do that. And I think, but the point is that we're all humans. Well, part of us, I suppose. Some of us are part alien, apparently, these days. But anyway, but on the whole, we're all earthlings. And as an earthling, we are all individual. And we all go through life a little bit differently. And so you have to learn something. Right? And it's good, I think, to give other people that information and basically get over yourself, right? Stop worrying about whether you really know what you're doing or not, and just get on and do it. Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, where can more people know more about your book? What could they go to a website, or do you have any link information that they can go to?
Funny you should ask that. I just happen to have a copy right here. But yes, this is actually on Amazon. So by all means, you can go to Amazon, type in "reset your inner clock," right? And live younger longer, and it will pop up. And it's very easy. It's my favorite color, aqua. Right. And it's a nice book, and I've written it. It's not full of, I've done all the research, right? So I've read, 55, in this country, it's not not kilos, it's pounds. I've read about 100 pounds worth of research. So you don't have to do it. So what I've done is I've actually condensed a lot of it in the book. So it's readable. Like there's lots of, it's not difficult. Yeah. So you can read 3 or 4 pages and go back to doing what you're doing. And then next week, come and read the next 5 or 6 pages. And yeah, it's written for the normal everyday person, which happens to be what I am. Yes.
Oh, yes. And for all the happy people out there, do not fret because the link that Roselyn mentioned will be in the description below. So after this interview, watch this interview, you can just go check out the link below and order you a copy of Reset Your Inner Clock.
Oh, thank you. Very nice of you.
You're welcome. You're totally welcome. Now, we're almost at the end of this interview, and this is the shout out portion of the interview. Now, is there anyone that you'd like to say hello and give a shout out to?
Well, there's lots of people, but most of them are in Australia. But mainly, I think I'd like to give a shout out to my other half, Bunker Bradley. Yes, Bunker is an inspiration. I mean, I thought that I was a crazy workaholic person that did 95 things all at once, right? And when I met Bunker and we started going out, I felt lazy. So this guy just never stops. Talk about the Ever Ready Bunny, right? You know, this is the Ever Ready Bunny on nuclear power, I think. So I'd give a shout out to him because he's so supportive and so amazing. And I love him.
I tell you, I got to interview Bunker myself. He sounds like a very fascinating gentleman.
He is. I'll tell him. Yes, right. And see if I can convince him to come along and chat to you. But, you know, him getting up sort of, I suppose he could get up at 8 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't have to put makeup on like I had to, right? So, yes, I think 9 o'clock would be fine. But thank you very, very much, Jesse.
Yes.
And I love your whole philosophy of happy, right? Quite often when I go and consult companies and things like that, because my background is actually technology, people call me Smiley. So I really understand your happiness thing.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, we are almost at the end of this interview, and there are happy people. I call the people happy people, my crew, and they are amazed with what you did in the stories right now. And if you could offer them one solid words of wisdom, what would it be?
Believe in yourself. And if you don't, work on it.
Fantastic. And that is a perfect bookend to this amazing interview. And this concludes the Sunday Morning Chat series. And if you want more plethora of positivity, go to YouTube, type my name, Jesse Oakley III, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, like, and share these videos with other happy people that you know. And if you have a chance to go to my YouTube channel, you can go to the Sunday Morning Chat series where you get a chance to see me interview a plethora of positive people that are making a big difference in their community, like my friend Roselyn here.
Thank you.
This concludes this episode of the Sunday Morning Chat series. And until next time, happy people, you take care and have a great day. Bye.